Well, good Sunday morning. I'm meteorologist James Hopkins on 10 Tampa Bay Plus. Also going to be joined here in just a minute by meteorologist Mike Prangley from First Coast News Plus. As we do every weekend, we're going to talk about our local weather and then again do a deep dive into the tropics, because there is an area that we are watching that is going to be moving its way into the Caribbean as we go throughout the day today, where conditions are going to be a little bit more favorable for some development on that system. Before that, we have some cold fronts, so we got one for later today. Right now, live look around. Looks amazing out there. Just like what we did yesterday, we're seeing lots of sunshine, and it is a little bit more muggy, but still not too bad. I mean, it's mid-October, so typically we're not that bad. Take a look out overlooking Tampa, and again, you see one or two clouds out there, and things are looking great. Also, St. Petersburg looking off into the distance into the east. You see the pier there, and where we had a big win for South Florida. It was 48-13 or something like that. I just looked that up earlier. I got to see through third quarter because I had to, of course, go to bed to get up to come here. Yep, 48-13 against Florida Atlantic. So that was great. And as we all know, the Bucks are away. Bucks are not playing at home today. They're playing in Detroit tomorrow night for Monday Night Football. Weather, of course, won't be a factor there because they got a dome. So take a look at Clearwater Beach, and just a beautiful afternoon, or morning getting ready to be afternoon. It is going to be a nice beach day today. Now, we're going to talk about some rain chances coming up because we have a cold front. It's a relatively weak one. You see there's your rain chances, kind of late, and it looks like forecast models are showing this kind of breaking apart as this front tries to work its way in. So if you want to head out to the beach here shortly, all the way up till probably mid to late afternoon, you're doing pretty good. About 4 to 5 o'clock would be a good time to pack up, but you probably would anyway, because the sun goes down prior to 7 o'clock now. And you see there's your chance for a shower too. So your marine forecast for the day today is looking good through the afternoon. There is a moderate chop in the bay. Winds out of the southeast shifting to the southwest later today as that front gets closer. About 10 to 15 knots, seas about 2 to 3 feet. So currently you see those winds, again, south-southeast. They're in the process of making that shift out there. And you see some of those winds, 10 Clearwater, 12 Lakeland, Zephyr Hills. So again, we'll see them up to about 10 to 15 as we go throughout the day today. And temperatures right now, we've got upper 70s to low 80s for most. St. Petersburg showing a 72. I have a feeling that some of the gauges are off, because wait till you see your dew points. 24-hour temperature change. Again, we got about 2 to 4 degrees warmer for most of us. Again, that St. Petersburg is off, but today's lows, we started our day 71 Tampa, 70 for Clearwater, 58 for Brooksville, Zephyr Hills. So not too bad of a start. Your dew points, this is why I tell you that they're off a little bit. Just one, St. Petersburg, your dew point is not 38. It is probably closer to 68, if not at 70, which is where Tampa is 69, 65 Brooksville, and there's a lot of dew points in the 70s out there. And again, look at St. Petersburg, minus 24. So again, having a little bit of an error issue with that one, but the rest of us, you can see the difference. And we talked about this yesterday in the end of the week, how our dew points are going to be going up through the weekend. We got 5 to 9 degree difference, again, in the plus. That's not what you like to see, but they're going to be going up even more for tomorrow with that front in the area. They only go down a little Tuesday, Wednesday after that front passes, but we got another front coming in Wednesday, which we'll talk about coming up. So today, we got that sunny start, afternoon clouds, 88 for Tampa. Some inland areas will make it to 90. We got mid 80s for the beaches. And here's that 88 feeling like 92. So again, we're going to be seeing, you're going to feel it a little bit more, and a little bit more tomorrow as well. There's your satellite radar. Again, things are looking fantastic now. There's that shower and thunderstorm activity. There is the cold front. So we're going to get to Mike Prangley here, who is joining us now. Mike, I thought I was going. Oh, Mike, you got to put the jacket back on. You've got to put the jacket back on. For those of you who were watching this morning.
Points.
There we go. Now I can hear you. So I thought I was going out on a limb wearing my Panthers tie today till I saw you this morning wearing it. Now, is that real Jaguar that you're wearing there?
Yeah, this is real Jaguar skin.
I absolutely love it. And of course, leading up to our stream here, I was watching some of the game that's in London this morning, and they need they're going to have time. Nick's over here. Nick Fatara said that if that you look like that you were one of the villains in one of the old Batman movies. So he loves the jacket too. Of course, you know
a villain. You know, I would be Batman's right hand man.
Oh, there you go. You'd be what you're saying. You'd be one of the good guys, is what you're saying.
I would, but tell Nick, tell everybody I said hi. You look great. You look great in your
well,
tie.
Thank you.
And I wore this. I was brave. I wore this on air.
Yes.
Here,
oh no, I
it
saw
was
you
something else this morning here in Jacksonville.
So we're talking about our nice
day. It was supposed to bring
day.
good luck. We were down. I can't even look at the TV right now. We're down by like 3 touchdowns already.
Yep, 21.
So I had to take this off. I think it was supposed to bring good luck, but it's not doing that right now.
Oh, so that's why you took the jacket off. So maybe whenever we're done, you can take it back off for the second half and see how they do. But all right, I digress. We could talk about football all day, but we're talking about this cold front. Beautiful in here, Tampa, right now. There's the cold front. What are you guys looking for today in Jacksonville with this cold front coming through?
Well, here in North Florida, we have a little bit more instability and lift than you do in Tampa. And James, excuse there's a huge delay in my ear, by the way. So imagine talking and then you're hearing yourself 5 seconds later. So I'm doing the best I can. Let's go through the front. I'm going to take this out briefly so everybody can understand me and I can understand myself. So what's the weather impact for us here in North Florida? I've got here a little more of an impact, I believe, than Central Florida and Tampa. We've got brief downpours on the way late today. Okay, lightning, we're watching for that. Okay, we have a little more instability to work with, a little bit more moisture as well between 2 and 5 o'clock. If you look at these maps here and we go to weather 2 on our computers here, I can drive here from Jacksonville and it's showing the actual pinpoint forecast here across southeast Georgia and Lake City. Looks like the heaviest rain will be between 2 and 5 o'clock. Now, as we go to weather 2 and check out our computers here, James, I guess we'll just stick on my Tampa computer there. It does look like in Duval southward, and that includes St. Augustine, we've got the highest chance of rain between 4 and 7 o'clock. Okay, so of course we're going to be streaming here, and it's just good to see my Tampa friends for sure. We look live outside. I've got a beautiful live shot looking back toward Everbank, and the Jaguars, I think, wish they were home. We've got blue skies galore. It's gorgeous. But again, what I was telling folks, your best part of the day will be earlier. And there it is. All right. We can see it. We got the blue skies. And we said get out early and often because if we do get those downpours, again, it would be later on this afternoon. And we had that runner index too, James, right up close to 10. Now, as we take a look at those current conditions, officially 77 degrees here at First Coast News, a dew point of 67. So that's a little bit of that instability I was talking about, higher dew points and that southwest wind. And this is the new model data. This is what we're looking for here in Duval. Okay, this morning on air, I said, yeah, it's 20%, but don't believe it. I think there will be a little bit higher chance. And I'm sure enough, models are coming around. I mean, James and I use Dr. J, as I call him. We know they're not gospel. So there it is, 60% chance at 4 o'clock, 70 at 5. But it's not a long-lasting rain. Not everybody's going to see the rain, so this is not a huge event. But see that little lightning bolt? That's what I get concerned about. Folks, got to keep our guard up and make sure when the thunder roars, you head indoors. And then the evening looks beautiful. I'll be out hopefully doing a nice dog walk, walking with the wife, spending time, and saying hi to the neighbors. So our big weather story, late downpour here in Jacksonville, and 87 degrees. Hopefully they'll have a big comeback so we can talk about the Jaguars. There's the average high of 80. We showed the satellite radar composite in Tampa. Here it is from Jacksonville. Yeah, it looks familiar, doesn't it? But if you look closely, that line is not strengthening. It's weakening a bit as it moves to the south and east. So again, that timing is so important for your plans. I know there's already some Diwali parties. I'm kind of excited. I was invited to my first Diwali party. We can talk about that a little bit. But Lake City to Brunswick, 2 to 5, and Gainesville to Duval, best chance of rain between 4 and 7. But notice rain less than an hour and widely scattered. All right, so as we take a look at high-res futurecast, we go right to the playbook, Dr. J, and there it is. That's showing a bow echo. I mean, this looks kind of, this is the HRR model, so a lot of times this can be overdone. But again, just an indication we got to keep our guards up for lightning. Never can rule out a strong to severe storm, and we'll keep an eye on it from Lake City to Stark to Folkestone up to Waycross as we head into late afternoon. And then as we go through the 5, 6 o'clock hour, that's when I was thinking most of the rain would be through Duval and the beaches, and there it is. It looks like it's quick moving, and it'll just skirt through the area pretty fast there, and kind of like the Rams defense against the Jags offensive line, and then it should be out of here for a better evening for our plans with temperatures in the lower 70s. As we take a look behind this front, there's another dry slot of air. In fact, just an amazing pattern. I mean, we're watching this drought pretty closely. As far as that severe risk, we like looking at the moisture PWs, Doctor, and there we go. We got the very dry atmosphere. So again, why I wasn't necessarily saying never say, I was saying never say never on severe weather, but I was downplaying that severe risk today because we got this big wall of dry air as that line moves east, and it's been tending to weaken as it does so. Okay, and then behind it, there's all of the nice, beautiful weather for our Monday and much of the week with a sunny pattern ahead. So severe weather outlook. Let's see if the Storm Prediction Center's on board, and they are. We're not in a level 1 risk. We're just below that. So I'm looking for brief downpours, lightning, maybe a wind gust or two, 30 to 40 miles per hour with all that dry air. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a downburst, but at this point, again, looking for that rain in San Marco by 5 p.m., so just be ready for that. So that's downtown. Looking at the drought in Duval, it's not a pretty sight. It's like the Jags on the football field today. That's minus 8.03 inches officially at Jacksonville International Airport. Let's see if we can add up some rain. Hey, this model's doing pretty good. I like this model. I mean, it's overdone, but we'll take it. Maybe there could be a couple spots that could get some beneficial rain, but overall, I'm not expecting a rain event that would help that drought I showed you, but there could be a couple spots with more than a quarter inch, but don't count on it too much there. We'll keep an eye on Palatka to St. Augustine. Overall, expected rainfall as we go through the next several days. Once this front comes through, we're going to dry out big time Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through. I believe next Sunday would probably be our next chance of rain here at Jacksonville. So the next 2 days, there's the change behind the cold front. We got 87 today, a fall delight in 77. I know Dr. J, James, I know you're wishing for that 77 in Tampa. It'll get there eventually, but I'm looking forward to that 77. As we look at the low temps, this is a big developing story here. We've got our lows possibly in the upper 40s to low 50s by later this week. So we haven't seen those 40s yet this season. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye on. So those are definitely, either way, the chilliest numbers and the chilliest readings we've had so far. So that's just an indication of this dry air mass that's coming in behind these fronts, because we have another front coming on Wednesday. And you think we've been dry up to now, it's going to be even drier. So it's kind of like a desert effect. We'll be down near 50 at night, and then a sunny, beautiful afternoon each and every day with highs closer to 80. So a pretty interesting pattern there. You see it on that 7-day forecast, and there it is. I mean, we're talking about 80, 78, then hopping back up to 85 ahead of the next front, and then right back into that dry air mass. Saturday, I did put in at least a late shower or storm in there, but right now it looks like that would trend more on Sunday. So overall, James, pretty interesting here in North Florida. We're kind of wishing, praying for that rain at this point, and at least some of us will get some rain this afternoon.
And
as we look at the tropics, it does look like we're getting some new information in here. So I'll let you take it away with Invest 98L, James.
Yeah, well, first I want to talk about our extended forecast, because you were mentioning that we have a cold front today, a cold front on Wednesday, and looks like potentially something for next weekend, because we're looking at the same thing. We're looking at I looked at models on Friday, models on Saturday. They were showing nothing, and then even the models early this morning. So I did the same thing. We were going a 20% chance of rain today, had to up that. And I want to show you, because you were using the HRRR. The graph model is our in-house model. It's actually catching up with it too, showing a little bit better chance for rain. So look at our rain chances here in Tampa as we go throughout the next couple of days. And that front's going to sweep through Jacksonville, and it's going to come through here a little bit later, but it's going to hang out because it's slowly going to push to the south. So where you're drying out up to the north, we're going to hold on, and it's a very low chance, but for the next couple of days. So take a look, and you can see here. So here's the cold front on the European model. It's going to be pushing its way in as we go throughout late this evening. It's not going to actually come through and drop to the south until go tonight into early on Monday morning. High pressure builds in briefly. And then again, we are looking pretty good with some of that dry air coming in back behind it. Here is our future cast for the day today. Again, still looking good through mid to late afternoon. Here is 6 p.m. and we're going to start it up along the Nature Coast. And you can see in Pinellas, you're still looking dry till closer to sunset. Between 7 and 8 o'clock, it pushes through St. Pete, Tampa, crossing over 75 and up to the I-4 corridor, and then pushing down to the south. And with the dry air we have in place now, well, mind you, we do have a little higher dew points than yesterday. We're in the back into the 70s. It's dry enough that we'll see a lot of this falling apart, plus the fact of the time of day After sunset, things cool off a little bit. And then through the overnight, not going to see anything really. And again, for the next couple days, our rain chances are very low. We're talking, here we go, for your Tuesday evening commute, maybe a drop on the windshield. That would be about it. Again, nothing really to write home about. Dew points going up, slowly back down, and our dew points aren't going to be anywhere near as comfortable as Jacksonville, but back to the mid then low 60s. So we got a couple of comfortable mornings coming up. So there is the cold front that's going to come through Wednesday into Thursday. This one's going to come through dry, but that's what's going to bring us the more comfortable air to wrap up the week. That front will stall down to the south. We have another system, and right now models are suggesting that that low is going to track to the north, and that cold front could dissipate. But that's what we'll watch for next weekend. There's your moisture content going up today into tomorrow, back down Tuesday. Dry Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, gradually up. Now Saturday looks pretty good. Still not looking at a chance. Might, again, see something late, but it looks like late Sunday into Monday. But still, look at the line for the rainy season. We're not looking at an abundance of moisture here where we would see a 50, 60% chance of rain. We're still looking at maybe 20 to 30% potential. And you'll see that here. Mike was talking about the dry air that's going to be coming in. There's the dry air back behind it. There's a second front, more dry air coming back in behind it. And then again, there's that next system. Potentially, we could see that front. We'll see what happens when we get that far out to the future. But forecasted rainfall all the way through next Thursday is it's next Sunday actually, is just not impressive. We're looking at between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. And some may be getting a little lower than that. There's our drought conditions across the area. I mentioned it's a little bit more extreme up to the north. We have severe and extreme to the north. And October rainfall has been nothing, 0.17 inches. And you see our year-to-date rainfall, we are down 7.16 inches in Tampa. Again, Sarasota about 1/2 inch, they're good. Brooksville, Winter Haven, 16, 11 there. And Tampa rainfall, again, really hasn't been the driest September on record. And if we don't get much in October, it looks like we could be battling there for probably a top 10 spot. We'll see, but 2025 deficit, I showed you that. Since September the 1st, 6.89. Again, typically we get a lot more in September. August, we were 2 inches above. You're normally about 9 inches. So 7-day forecast, again, there it is. Small rain chances over the next couple of days after that initial line pushes through late this evening. Not looking at the potential for severe weather in our area just because of the timing. And then it's comfortable Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. So like Mike mentioned here, this is where we're really going to be shifting our focus to, because we're not going to see much in terms of local weather happening. National Hurricane Center has given this one a 60% potential for tropical development. And this is our new Invest 98L. It looks like it's right almost over Barbados, just to the south of Barbados is where, and whenever you don't have really a tropical system like a depression or a storm, you really don't have a center. So this is kind of a guesstimate with the satellite of where the center is, but it is going to be pushing its way into the Caribbean as we go throughout tonight into tomorrow. It is moving fast. Next name on the list is Melissa. And I know, Mike, I know you've been looking at these forecast models like I have. We were talking about this one on Monday of last week because we were seeing forecast models hinting of this coming off the coast of Africa. Nothing through the Atlantic until it got into the Caribbean. And that's what your models are showing right now. There's your spaghetti plots. And this is the crazy, they're all over the place. Anywhere from Haiti, Dominican Republic, all the way to Nicaragua. So it really could go anywhere. And there's a couple of factors that have for development. Some show it developing earlier, some showing later. And typically, of course, when a system gets stronger, faster, that's when it can push through. So, Mike, what have you been seeing with this system here that we have again been watching for a week now? Now the National Hurricane Center has the Invest on it.
It's true.
Yeah. What are you seeing here? Because again, there's a couple of factors that I think are going to go into where this one is going to be going here in about 10 days.
Yeah, well, it's pretty interesting. You showed all the spaghetti models. You've got some of the models heading toward Puerto Rico, some head toward Central America, some weaken it all together. Mm-hmm. It's a mixed mesh of mess. And what I've been showing here closer to Florida is, yeah, these fronts and all of the wind shear as you get close to home is really helping to suppress and block all of this activity in the Caribbean. So I know for at least the next 7 days is what I said, what's happening in the Caribbean will continue to stay in the Caribbean and we'll continue to watch it. But say something like Melissa does try to form a little sooner, that would tend to curve it north and out to sea. I mean, that would be fine with me. So let Melissa form and head out to sea. But notice there's that wind shear I was talking about, that big wall that's just blocking any of activity from even thinking of coming to the north. So this is something we didn't have in Tampa last year in Central Florida when we had Milton and Helene. And I know here, I think we're all fine with drought conditions at this point, and we want to keep all that tropical moisture and activity to the south. But we will have to watch very closely. A couple models have it hanging around the southern Caribbean for a while. But overall, if I look at the pattern all the way into November, I'm still seeing one frontal system after another continue to move through Florida. And as long as that happens, yes, we're still going to have to watch it, but that would tend to keep that activity much farther south of home. And as far as the tracks, again, we don't have consensus on it, but again, we're just going to continue to watch it very carefully, James.
Yeah, you're right. And that's the big difference that we're seeing this year and actually up into September, which is very unusual for fronts to come through. Usually they come into North Florida, maybe the Panhandle, and it's that Bermuda high that kind of keeps anything blocked from coming through. And typically up through the coast of the Carolinas, the same thing. We've seen front after front after front, and that's the great thing about this is because those fronts help steer these out to sea. Take a look at the GFS model, and this is one thing mentioned that we've got models developing these at different times and in different places. The GFS model shows that from what it's hinting at is that as soon as 98L gets into the Caribbean, it's going to develop. And there is a little bit of wind shear in the eastern Caribbean, but almost non-existent in the west, which is why a lot more models show maybe Wednesday, Thursday into Friday. But if this does develop further to the east, again, that's good news for us. Unfortunate news for Haiti, Dominican Republic, as you can see it moving its way up and then pushing over towards the northeast. Now, look at your forecasted winds for the European model, because again, it has it developing a little bit later. So here we go into Wednesday, and this is where potentially in the central Caribbean we have a depression. And there it is as we go Friday and into the weekend. Then it really starts to strengthen up. And then as we go into the following weekend, Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday, there it is. And there it's hanging out. But you notice how it is kind of starting to drift. Here's your model comparison, and again shows you the same thing. If we stop it here on Thursday, you already see the yellow line. This is your GFS. It's already showing the tropical depression, while the European doesn't show it just yet. It's only a day later, but it is further towards the west. And again, there it is. There's the GFS model showing it to the south of, again, Haiti, Dominican Republic there, Hispaniola, and then moving its way Sunday already up towards the north, while the European model is still having it develop. And there it starts to move its way off towards the northeast, and then it looks like possibly Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday of the following week, again, as we get closer to Halloween, that's when the European model hints that maybe Cuba over towards the northeast is where it shows it. So here's your GFS model again. If you zoom in, you show it developing pretty early there, Wednesday, Thursday, and there it really starts to strengthen as it already starts to make that shift before you even get to next weekend to the north, and then eventually over towards the north and east. Again, that would keep it well away from us. The Euro, kind of the same scenario. And looking at the forecast intensity models shows again, well, these models show anywhere from a tropical storm tomorrow all the way to some of them not even showing it making it to tropical storm. But the general consensus would be Wednesday into Thursday. There's the European model. Again, just a little bit slower. There it is, continuing to slowly develop right off the coast of Central America there, and then eventually moving its way up to the north. I want to go back to this one again because this is what Mike and I were just talking about with the wind shear, with the front after front after front. So there's the front that's coming through today into Tuesday. There it is down to our south. That one dissipates. We have another one Wednesday into Thursday. That one's going to stall, and it's pretty easy to see right here with the flow where that front is. So wind shear acts for two things. Number one, it's steering. These are upper level winds. And this would help if it develops here to kind of, once it moves, drifts up and gets into that, it'll catch it and push it off towards the east. So like Mike was talking, this acts like a wall. Anything that's going to come through and you see. But again, just like this is a forecast of when it's going to develop, this wind shear is also a forecast. So that can change. But that's what, again, we're looking at. So again, Mike, we're talking about cold front after cold front after cold front. And that's what we really want to see this time of year, is multiple cold fronts. We'd love to see a little bit of rain across the area with our drought conditions. But again, our main focus is going to be that Caribbean. So keep a close eye on this as well. I'm sure you are, Mike.
So we're good here at home. Let the wind shear continue, and let's go right to our NFL picks. We got 30 seconds.
Okay.
We're going to start with the Rams-Jaguars. Will they come with the biggest comeback in their history maybe? They're down, I think, 20-0.
21-0, I don't think so. I think 28-21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Bucks at the Lions.
I'm going Bucks. They keep finding ways to win. I'm not going to pick against them until they play.
They do.
Until they play the Panthers.
I took your Panthers. Panthers at the Jets.
There we go. Jets haven't won a game yet. I'm predicting they don't win one today.